All right, we're live. Hello. How are you guys today?
Hello.
Super excited to be here.
Thanks.
Uh,
Yeah, so we're excited to have you. So for those joining us for the first time, this is episode 4 of Brand Experience Live.
Sorry, Ashley, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I have a message quickly. I'm not sure if LinkedIn is seeing
Oh,
saying we are having trouble posting to LinkedIn.
oh no, we
It's
are.
waiting for the broadcast right now.
Yeah, it's I can't see either. Just to
Let's see. I'm going to open up a new window then.
Before brand
otherwise we
experience.
go through the long story and no one can even hear us.
Yeah, and
All
then
right.
I've done it before, and then you have to then next week you skip next week and you have to put through last week, but it's not
Okay,
as interactive or fun. Okay, we're up.
okay,
We're
See,
live.
are we live?
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now we're good. Okay. So, welcome.
Well, hi.
Take two.
Yeah,
Take two.
it's not real unless there's some technical difficulties.
There's technical difficulties on very closer to 100% than 0%
Yeah.
of all LinkedIn lives. Like
Yeah.
over 50% for sure.
Oh my God. Well, welcome to all to episode 4 of Brand Experience Live. So during this live LinkedIn podcast that we have weekly on Wednesdays at 12:30 Eastern Time, we explore the brands and individuals that are delivering unrivaled brand experience for their candidates, employees, prospects, buyers, community, and investors. And really, what we do is we explore what they attribute to their brand experience success and how you too can implement their wins into your own individual and business ventures. My name is Ashley Bideda, and I'm joined by my brilliant co host, Laga Lemoy.
Thank you, Ashley. Again, amazing intro, but it's not about us. So today we are super excited to have a Jared Robin here, and Jared is a co-founder of RevGenius. And what I know, it's amazing online community you built like over 2 years ago, and mainly it's I think around 30,000 people, sales, marketing, revenue generating professionals. So you built that hub where they can learn, grow, inspire, be the best version of themselves. So, first of all, welcome, Jared.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me, ladies.
No, we are happy to see you here. So, first of all, I think by the way, if you don't know Jared yet, follow him on LinkedIn as well, and obviously like RevGen. But we would like to know more about you. So, tell us about yourself and how you got involved with RevGen.
RevGenius, and oh man, this could be a whole hour in and of itself, but I'll keep it succinct. 15 plus year sales veteran, both software sales and logistics. I worked for FedEx in sales for 7 years prior
Wow.
to entering the software space, software as a service, SaaS. And I made it in. I wanted to exercise my ambition, be a part of a younger company, be a part of something where I could get equity in what we're building. Working for a public company, that isn't the case unless you buy it. So from there, I didn't have the easiest experience. I wasn't getting paid on time. I took a pay cut to not get paid on time to live in New York City,
Wow.
which is hard. I We didn't have product market fit. The product didn't work. All of this, and so I empathized with, geez, people that have that today. From that point, I went for the money, so to speak. We did find product market fit. We went to Series A profitably, uh, built all of that out, left for more money, and had a crummy boss.
Mm,
And so, like, I'm like, huh, I can't get away from like something happening. Um,
mm,
I got the money that I felt like I deserved, but the work environment felt weird, and I was ready to leave, frankly, within a few months, if not sooner. And that was because it just felt like a cold environment, a callous, and yeah, it was just, and simultaneously I was running a digital fashion magazine. I decided to do what I truly wanted on the side, and had like 10,000 monthly viewers of our
Wow,
content digitally, won International Fashion Film Awards in Copenhagen,
that's cool.
was in 10 international fashion film festivals, won Best International Fashion Film of the Year, as well as Best Idea. And I'm like, wow, I'm doing this on the side. That's kind of crazy. Left my,
It's a hobby, and it's pretty awesome.
yeah, through some massive parties, the biggest Fashion Week parties in New York. I have been in Vogue, Fashionista, lots of publications for street style. I've been in New York Times, like
Wow.
print, like with what I
Super
was wearing
cool.
for like Fashion Week. So um, brought that manifestation to the daytime. Joined a startup that was bridging models, photographers, hair, makeup, stylists. It took like over a 50% pay cut, mind you. Like went
Yeah.
back to my measly pay before. So like I felt like all of this connecting directly with brands. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is my side hustle in the daytime. Everyone got laid off. So I felt that. And then I was in another situation where everyone got laid off. And then I ran sales for a marketing agency, a good one, still around. And I got let go because I wasn't bringing on enough outbound business. And I certainly understand that, but it was kind of weird. So I've been in all these situations and I really empathize with folks in the space that have been through a lot, and lost my job right before COVID, and loved the idea of community. Had built it before, had joined a couple. I think I announced, I know I announced today that I joined Reforge myself, paid them, like want to learn all
Mm-hmm.
about it. I'm all about communities and learning. And I wanted to build something in the creative space. I said, fuck this space. like it hasn't been good to me. It's been
Mm-hmm.
it's been, I've grown from it, but like let's do this in creative. And I talked to my partner, who is a phenomenal creative director in her own right. She's the creative director, the top creative at Cosmo magazine. Uh,
Wow.
Probably have heard of it, or if you haven't, you can go to a newsstand and find it. Super massive, and it fell on deaf ears. Like she was like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, huh, I don't want to even try it. Like if the person I live with doesn't like it, I'm not going to waste my time like navigating further. So I looked in the SaaS space and I'm like, holy shit, there's no open, inclusive, no cost, accessible community in the space. And I'm like, I have to create this, whether there is or not. And I did, and it turned out that there was a need. So that's and
Just a
and and
little bit.
and I think yeah, I think that story is the beginning of the secret sauce to building
Mm-hmm.
community. I have a presentation coming at CMX Group, CMX conference, the biggest conference of community leaders, on
Wow.
trust. Okay, so right before we hopped on, we spoke about like strategy and all that, and there is strategy, but the secret sauce stuff underneath every strategy is building trust.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Yep.
who do I
Relatability.
trust? I trust the person who fought from being homeless on the floor, who's gotten
Mm.
fired 3 times. I
Yeah.
trust them to be empathetic with what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the base, and then so that's the connection,
Yeah.
and then it's how do you create vibes on that? Like how do you take that trust and you just throw a party? It's like, yeah, we're inclusive, but we're also the best effing party with the coolest people, and we're not just diverse to have a line item checked. We're diverse because it needs to be a lifestyle, because that's where all the cool people hang out. But like
Yeah.
honestly believe that, right? And that's how you then create that energy and that vibe, which is the second secret sauce part that sometimes is lost. And then you build strategy on top of all that, because then you have people that'll give you time to fail and fuck up and figure it out.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
think that, right, like when it comes down to strategy, and like Lagla and I talk about this all the time, like it has
Mm-hmm.
to start with a purpose, it has to start with an emotion, it has to
Yeah.
start with relatability and trust, and like and you can't obviously create something really successful without some sort of plan.
Yeah.
You can throw spaghetti at the wall for a little bit, but that only helps you short term. And I know you had mentioned right in the beginning, there wasn't necessarily a strategy.
No.
There was just emotion, right? And trying to help people. When did you decide to implement a strategy? How did you decide to do that?
So first and foremost, ready, fire, aim is a strategy. It's just go test it, figure it out. So like I was just trying to bring on as many members as humanly possible that were sales, marketing, or rev ops, and later customer success, which we've kind of pulled back from a little. And I was looking at other communities. I was looking at people that, companies that should be in there to get there. So there was a little bit of strategy to that, right? Or a little bit of direction, I should say. When more strategy came in, was when more people that I worked with came in, because you need to create a direction and needed to get people's buy-in and needed to give people purpose in their day-to-day. So we went with, objectives and key results. What's up, Aaron? Aaron's a great dude.
He's pretty amazing human.
He's a vibe. What can I say? He gets the vibe. But so we went towards OKRs, objectives and key results. We fumbled through it in the beginning, and I think whatever strategy you have needs to emanate, and we could talk about like what we did and all that, and I'm certainly open to it. But the key part of strategy is to understand your North Star, your North Star metric, your North Star person.
Yep.
And then fucking build shit that goes towards impacting them in a positive way, and stuff that you can measure. That's important. Like, I'm starting to put objectivity to the subjectivity of having a vibe. Like, everything you need to make as objective as possible, because then you could repeat it.
Yes, I agree with that. And that I can personally get into another conversation about being able to quantify your efforts and the things that you're doing every day, regardless of your role, right? I'm brand, and I know how to quantify my efforts. And that's obviously a different conversation for us to have. But I love that you said that, because even though there's these like dark social things and social selling and opportunities where you cannot quantify in the same ways, there's still, you can still somehow measure your efforts and everything that you do. And I like that you say that, because even though we're talking community right now, a part of what you do is help to properly educate those in your community and help them be the best them too.
Yeah, but that's
fast track their careers.
Yeah. But I think it's also like, besides obviously clever strategy, it's hard work, obviously, and strong leadership, both of you. I think it's also like at the end of it's a kind of some sort of like a revenue ROI in mind. So in terms like once we get there, so you saw there was a need for this incredible community, let's share passion, fire, everything else. How did you start to connect with these people? How they found you?
Yeah, I started a LinkedIn chat with 28 people. It started with 4. And I just asked people to bring in others like them that were a vibe. And we realized we wanted, Galen and myself, we wanted to create a platform that had all the events in sales and marketing in the beginning. And what did it look like? Maybe it looked like Eventbrite. How could we do that without creating a website, which I was planning on building on WordPress? Now my whole site's on Webflow. It's so funny how that evolves. But like, and the WordPress CMS, and I had a friend that was going to build it, like hook it up. So we just created this Google Sheet that had every Sunday, Galen would take the lead on it, and I'd add stuff. It would create like all the best events as per our curation, right, for the upcoming week ahead. And we would circulate it in this group of a couple dozen LinkedIn, in a LinkedIn chat. And I'm not sure if people ended up going to any of the events or looking at the sheet, but I'll tell you what, they talked with each other so much. They loved each other so much. They genuinely liked each other. And we broke that app multiple times per day. Breaking it mean on the app on your phone, it shuts off because there's so much conversation happening. Okay.
That's
So
amazing.
Yeah.
that's how we started it. And then the people, I realized I had a community because I'm like, wow, these people really like each other. And they told me to go to Slack, which is where we've been since.
Okay.
I said, give me 48 hours. Why do you need 48? I'm like, listen, you all know it takes 15 minutes to open a Slack, but like, I need at least 24 hours to come up with some terms and conditions and guidelines to monitor you crazy lunatics. So I'm like, give me a day because I need something. Even though it's not legally held, I need to like create like no selling, no like other things to scale trust, right? Because I can't bring this energy past and part of that. So like we had this and everybody like loved belonging. So they were like, yeah, you should come, you should come. They did the work for us. It's that word of mouth type of advertising, that sauce that you hear about that's like really good. If you do it right, we have that, and we still have that. And people really enjoyed belonging, and they loved telling others. And then we brought in things to complement that, right? Like, hey, we have a leaderboard based on who refers the most people. But like that streamlined what they were doing and encouraged them to do more of it, more than getting them from nothing to go, if that makes sense. So like they were already crazy lunatics, all this, and we're like, hey, let's organize this lunacy a bit. And then we brought on Anish, who's like member number 57, I believe, who was our first head of community, who recently passed that torch to Anna. And he's like, yo, Jared, do you want me to like help you with all these people? I'm like, I can't say no. Like, yes, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing and all of that. And yeah, so to the point of strategy, like I didn't know what I was doing fully or what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get everybody like-minded in a space, a digital space, to support one another and create this empathetic vibe with each other, which is hard to scale at 30,000. I'll give you that. But I wanted to also make sure from our first 500 people, at least, like there was a little bit of vibe control, so to speak. I don't want to say quality control, but like vibe control, like cool, like, oh, you know, this person who knows this person, you're good. Like, you know, like coming into that party, like we want everybody in, but we want to pick the first people that come in, just to create, to help create this energy
to set the
that
tone.
would emanate to everybody. Yep. We're 100% inclusive, but we were not yet to some.
So do you still accept new members? I mean, what is your capacity every day?
1 million.
Okay. I mean, I kind of relate to you everything.
Why not?
I'm gonna join, obviously. I kind of relate to you because I also left corporate world 3.5 years ago, and then the COVID hit, and I was stuck in Mexico on my own. And any community event, anything happened, you know, I felt I need to see people. I need, even if it's online, to belong somewhere. I felt it was such a strong need. And yeah, it was a crazy time, but this is amazing story. So in terms, like you said, 56 members was much easier to control than 30, obviously. Not 30,000 now you have. How do you actually make sure that it's still obviously that you haven't lost that quality of this community, you know, like actually everybody feels like they to get the benefits out of it, you know, like because sometimes we get lost when we have so many members, you know, that they feel like, how many actually, like maybe best question is like from this 30,000, how many are really active members?
So, you know, right around the 10% mark. And here's the challenge. The challenges evolve because if you create the most active space, and it's based in Slack in particular, Slack isn't meant to be a community. So when we're like rapid firing messages back and forth, like people are doing this all day, it has a law of diminishing returns on some, right? They're like, I don't want to go there. That is crazy. Like, so how do you optimize for So
Too
then
much.
you have people turning off their notifications, and many people are turning off their Slack notifications. So like if we announce something or do this or that, they just don't hear it. So there's a lot of evolution that has to come. You also have to realize, and I've said this for some time, community transcends platform. Right. So like the RevGenius community, we have 3,300 people with RevGenius on their LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is not RevGenius per se.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
is it? Like, is there a subset of people that are like there's a community that helps there. So like you need to bring in other marketing channels. You need to throw things away from Slack. You need to continue throwing the biggest party. You need to have brand experiences live on LinkedIn like this, even if you have a Slack group. If your community's here, do it on TikTok, do it on Facebook. But I think
go where your people are.
Yeah, you have to leverage. You have to leverage social. You know, as much as I don't want to admit that, you do. And you have to leverage email, and you have to leverage and figure out where they're at, and also. The key thing is, you know, if you take money from sponsors, which is a big channel for business model for a lot of communities, it's either the channel or it's one of a small handful. If you take money from sponsors, the sponsors are going to want to drive the conversation, and rightfully so, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a delicate balance between that and you driving the conversation, because as a community head, you know, or you should know, like exactly what's going on in the space, whether it's in your community, outside, or together, of your people. Like, where are your people?
Yeah.
What are they talking about? What's cool? So you need to fucking just throw the cool shit regardless. Like, we have LinkedIn Live cold calling. We had like 1,000 people the other week there. We had like 500 last week.
Wow.
That's one event. Like, every day we're throwing fucking fire, and sponsors could plug in.
Wow.
Right. And
Okay.
like throw fire and let the sponsors come in, knowing exactly what your community is, knowing exactly what your community isn't.
Yes.
And yeah, so there's a little bit of niching down there as well. So like, yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, I like to say nourish a community, and the community will nourish you back, you know. So that's very, very important. And how do you feel like during this now? Obviously, it's been crazy journey for you. What you have learned yourself from this experience at the moment, what you're running? I know you said first you don't know even what you're doing, but obviously now after 2 years, what did you learn? What have you learned so far from everything you've
A
done?
lot.
Yeah, probably.
In 2 years.
Oh my gosh. How to lead.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know there's a lot of like LinkedIn debate on what a leader is. And we hear this all the time. And I don't know if you're connected with him, but I have a friend called Alexander Andrews, and he wrote a book, Unlike a Boss, really talking about what leadership is now, what it has been, and how to change it, and how to adapt and grow. And what does leadership mean to you, especially in community where you're not necessarily leading your employees? And I know that you're leading a team, but it's more so you're leading a group of people to this promised land that you have in your head for the North Star.
So leadership is two things. One, it's creating, well, the main thing is creating an environment for your people to succeed, period. Okay. And it's understanding on like an empathetical level what they need. But it's also creating a strategy for them to feel like part of the business to succeed. It's not just letting people run amok. People will churn because like people want to advance their careers. Like if you're hiring right, you're hiring people that want to advance their careers. So giving people distinct roles, holding them accountable for those roles, having logic, right? Like making sure that there's logic throughout, like you're not like being weird. And just being a fucking homie. Like, you need to take off. I have the utmost confidence in you. Like I was telling one of our people yesterday, I'm like, I need you to just take this and run. Like I don't want to be a part of this. I don't have the time to be a part of this. I want check-ins, sure. But if it's working, I'll see it working. That's it. If I come in, it's because I'm seeing something awry. And honestly, like 8 or 9 out of 10 times, unfortunately, it is awry. So like it needs to be there. But you know, and then also it's being vulnerable to your people, whether they're your team or your community, and it's apologizing when you're wrong.
Yeah.
If you just apologize when you're wrong, like that hits people in a certain kind of way, like and assuming you're not going overboard with being wrong often, like when I say wrong, like being edgy and like a jerk, like don't make that the regular, but like so you get
this goes back to the trust, but it goes back to the trust factor, right? If you're able to be vulnerable,
be authentic, authentic, you know,
admit,
you have to be authentic. So then your team is like, oh, Jared's going through that part, like he drank too much tea and he's out of his mind right now, and
tea,
and he's asking us to do a million things a second. Like I see right through it. Like he'll come back from that. Don't worry. But verse like, oh my god, what's going on?
Well, it's
but you want to be conscious. You want to be conscious of your people.
Yeah, because they actually at the end of the day, you know, now you're in front of that big community, you know, and that's why you said, you know, even though you have 33,000 in LinkedIn, you know, it's actually probably they look up to you as well a lot, you know, so you're ahead of that now, so you can't escape, you know, that platform.
Just be vulnerable and apologize when you fuck up. Like anybody who thinks that any leader is like never doing something that's not leaderly, like, come on, like get off that. Like every leader does something that's not leaderly, that does like a boss thing. It's being conscious of that within a reasonable time period.
Yeah.
Like self-reflected and coming clean. Like, it's so funny. On a flyer for RevCon, said like sales, marketing, RevOps, and customer success. And after I presented something that just said we're focusing on sales, marketing, and RevOps, and she's like, one of our awesome core members is like, but Jared, whatever, why is this? And I'm just like, because I fucked up. Like I'm gonna recalibrate it right now.
But good for you. That retains trust from your people.
Trust. Yes. And I was gonna post something on trust. Trust is the more I think about it, the more I agree with it, is the most important factor for leading. Period.
Yeah.
And interpersonal relationships, period.
Yeah. Agreed. I totally agree with that. If you we're at 20 minutes.
Let's do a couple more. Let's hit it. Let's hit the last two.
So if you could give one piece of advice to anyone either wanting to start a community or join a community, maybe these are two different questions, right?
Yeah.
What is your best piece of advice to beginning one? And I guess secondary is if you're looking to join a community, what questions should you be asking yourself and looking for to join the right one?
So first and foremost, joining a community, understand your needs, like where you have gaps, like do you need a mentor? Do you need to learn how to sell better? Do you need to learn how to market better? Like, is it a learning thing? Is it a mentor thing? Whatever, and find like where that is. Look on LinkedIn, freaking Google it. And if there's no cost to it, join a few and figure it out, right? Like and talk to people.
Yeah.
And the questions you ask, if there's no cost, just show up and feel it out. Now, from a starting your community standpoint, the secret sauce is starting something that the space actually needs versus just starting something to start something or because and no knock on solopreneur. Like I am head over heels for the whole movement. But starting like a Me Too business, like, hey, I do that Me Too, like I'm gonna do that, isn't gonna hit as hard. I know I have some subtle actually.
No, I'm gonna.
It isn't going to hit as hard, and in the feels is something that's honestly needed, and like nuance, and and even if it appears to many that it's the same, people are like, are you the same as Revenue Collective at the time? Understanding the space at such like a deep level to say like the nuance, and I could just literally say like there's a different energy and a different mission.
Yes,
Come in
knowing
and you'll find
your
out. And
value prop.
yeah, so our mission is to bring inspiration and creativity to the revenue space. Those two things are needed even today, even with better DEI and B. Everybody's follow the leader in Me Too. And Me Too as in like I have a business Me Too, like as we talked about, not the awful kind. And second is like build something new, build something fresh, build something that there's a gap in. Build a company. Don't just do something because you have like the cookie cutter model. Like push yourself out there.
Yes.
And inspiration. Have others that help you realize that there is no glass ceiling, or there is for even a white male that's gone through, who has privilege, that there is a path of help in this difficult world, right? Like, and inspire that person, help that person get into software sales, help that person get a promotion, help that person have a space to belong, inspiration and creativity, and to give it to everybody, allow everyone to have an access in. Anyway.
That's amazing. Beautiful.
It originally was to educate, inspire, and empower revenue professionals. And that was really cool, but it was kind of like what we did versus our mission. I'm like, yeah, sounds awesome. I'm like, I want to bring inspiration and even more importantly, creativity to all revenue pros. As kids, we are the most creative we've ever been. Practicality sets in and shuts it off.
Yep.
Everybody had paint as a kid, or crayons, or whatever. Everybody played an instrument or failed at an instrument growing up. But all that left.
Yeah.
Because we became afraid of failure. That's why that left. Because
we needed practicality. We needed money to it's so Jim Carrey has a line on practicality: fear disguised as practicality, because that's another app. So to your point, afraid, yes, absolutely, but fear is masked in certain ways. So
I believe that. You're right.
That's so valid points. Really interesting.
I would just ask the person that slept on floors before.
Everything starts from here, Yeah, and everything starts from from heart. It sounds like it's you behind it 100%, and everything starts from heart. So that's what we do as well with Ashley. Otherwise we wouldn't do it. If it's not the passion and something you want to give back to the community and share with everyone else.
Passion.
So I'll share a little light into like thoughts on the future. So we have RevGenius. I'm going to see this around to the end. But when you said like when you're thinking of creating your next thing or like community or something, like how do you do it? Like I'm literally figuring it out now, like seeing the space. I bought the domain homies.vc, understanding the venture capital world and like everything that it is. And I'm like, sometimes you just need homies, both to take money from as well as to help you grow your business. But like when I say take money from, as like angel investors, right? But like there isn't really.
But it seems a little more casual.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I'm down. I will be a part of that community.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know what it looks like yet, but like I'm just like thinking through stuff. I have a big task at hand now, and I'm excited to keep doing better for the people.
I love that. And that's what it's all about. Like, I mean, that's how I live my life. And I can totally relate to that. Is I just want to help other people be and do better and provide them opportunities to make everything else around them better too.
What you just said, help others, and let's expound on that and say give to others, is part of that trust building secret sauce. What nobody here realizes, I may or may not throw it on LinkedIn. I just got 2, soon to be 3, if the third hire manager is watching. People like their dream jobs, like just help them one-to-one. Like I'm not a recruiter, but like, I'll tell you what, like these companies are better for it. Like I'm advising some of them, some seem to be advising all of that. But I just believe in them. And then these people, they're going to have even better lives
Yeah.
because of it, because the situation's right and all of that. So like, that's one way to give. That's an obvious way to give, but like, just keep giving and don't
Yes.
care about your business model. Whatever your business model is, keep giving away from it. Wait, I'm running a brand. Do you need a ride to school? What? That's not even okay. I'm running a brand agency. Like, do you need help with demand gen?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it outside the fact that I have 3 friends that everybody raves about. Can I connect you with them? At least one of them is willing to have a talk at no cost. And frankly, he'll probably hook you up, like, or she will, right? Like, just keep giving away from your business model and set others up for success. And they'll trust you, they'll spread the trust, and it'll build the foundation of something that could be very strong.
And that is brand.
That's so
Long
beautiful.
term.
Yeah, well said.
That's brand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. I feel so happy hearing.
I know
I'm always happy to hear someone else say the things that like Lagla and I talk about all the time.
I know, it's so inspiring, and I'm so happy it came from you so today. So
Oh my
hopefully it's
gosh.
lots of inspiration for our viewers, people who will tune in later, watch back. So that's amazing. So yeah, unfortunately time flies so quickly.
I know.
I want to talk to you like behind the scenes. You two are wonderful. I want to
Thank you.
support what you have, going into the future. And yeah, anybody who's listening, come to RevGenius.com. It's free. Fill out the sign up.
Yeah.
We'll get you moving from there. We have courses. We have community. There's always a free way in, and if you're looking to pay once you get in, hit me up.
We'll take your money.
Yes.
I'll tell you some of the programs, the learning programs that we have that may be a fit or may not. But
that's awesome.
I focus on leading indicators because all of the money will waterfall, and that's strategy as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Strategy.
Thank you.
Strategy.
Well,
thank you.
It felt like you were going to that direction a little, so I figured
Always.
I'd separate it a little bit.
Always. I'm a creative, but I'm also very organized, and I like planning.
On both sides. I said I ran a fashion magazine, but I was the editor-in-chief part of it and the publisher. So like I empathize with you, and I was actually going to create a community for you. Think Soho House, but instead of it being a party place, being a place to progress your creative career.
Yeah, and I'm all about customer journey.
See, like I know it's knowing the space intimately. But yeah.
Sounds like we all into something like it's a great dynamic here, because I'm all about this customer journey and experience and everything you can get out. So because I want to make sure that even after somebody joins a community or whatever brand or service, they leave with a smile still in the face after 2
they stay
months.
They
stay
with a smile.
They talk about it. exactly It's easy to actually lock in the client saying, oh, sign up here, but that's why I ask the question as well, how active are your members, and the good sign is that it's growing. So clearly there is lots of, good things happening. So we'll come and check it out. So
thank you so much for having me. You two are too kind. I hope people have learned something. Have an awesome day, everybody.
You guys have a great day 2. We'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 12:30. Lagla and I will be back.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.